Today, I'm going to explain an American action comedy film called The Spy Next Door. Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. Bob Ho is an international spy lent by the Chinese government to the US CIA. He lives in secrecy, hiding his real profession behind a pen manufacturing business. Bob's neighbors are a chaotic family of four. The mother, Jillian, is a single mom raising her children on her own after her husband abandoned them. Her eldest daughter, Farron, is 13 years old. She is rebellious and moody, like most teenagers. The middle child, Ian, is the smartest kid in his class, and the youngest daughter, Nora, has an obsession with pink and princesses. Bob is currently dating Jillian, because of which all three of the kids hate him. They have never seen their mom with anyone else except their father, and are having a hard time adjusting to her new boyfriend. Bob is well aware of the fact, and is trying to win the kids over. Because of his seemingly boring life, Ian thinks Bob is a cyborg trained to kill their family. Nora, who is easily influenced by anyone, trusts her brother. On the evening of their 3-month dating anniversary, Bob and Jillian go out to celebrate. Bob is about to retire soon and hence wants to tell Jillian about his real job. But before he can, he is interrupted by a call from the CIA, calling him urgently for a mission. He leaves without a proper explanation, but Jillian seems understanding about it. Bob rushes to his business showroom that hides a secret CIA headquarters. His colleagues inform him that a wanted Russian criminal and his henchmen just entered a refinery. The CIA is unsure what the motive behind the invasion is, but they know it is not good. Bob gears up and leaves to catch the criminals with his partner, Colton. They enter the refinery through the roof and find 3 Russians trying to mix something with the oil in the refinery. The leader of the 3, Anton, is also the commander of the Russian mafia, trying to spread his wings in the US. Bob attacks Anton's minions and defeats them within minutes with his fighting skills. Anton, on the other hand, tries to run away, but is eventually caught. After saving the day for the 100th time, Bob returns to the headquarters where his colleagues applaud him for his bravery. His boss, Glaze, is sad that this was one of Bob's last missions because he is one of the best agents they have. However, Bob is adamant about leaving the job because he wants to start a new life with Jillian and the kids. The next day, he greets Jillian with flowers to apologize for running away the other night. The kids huff at his presence and walk inside the house. When no adults are around, Bob efficiently jumps on the roof and helps a cat down. This makes Nora believe he actually is a cyborg, like her brother had predicted. Inside, he and Jillian talk about their future and the possibility of them getting married someday. Jillian wants to marry him as much as he wants to marry her, but she is worried about the kids. Ian overhears their conversation and tells his siblings, who are all obviously against the idea. Later, they ask their mother if she is serious about marrying Bob. She doesn't give them a definite answer, but claims that her happiness is important alongside theirs. The following day, the Russian mafia leader, Anton, runs away from the police's custody. The CIA officers are distressed because the mission was classified. The escape directly indicates the presence of a mole in their team. Glaze and Colton immediately work on looking for the betrayer. Meanwhile, Anton lands on a skyscraper and meets his partner and girlfriend, Tatiana. We find out that the group is working on developing a bacteria that feeds on petroleum and destroys it completely. They plan to use it to create a shortage of oil in the West and make Russia the primary source of petroleum. At night, Bob disguises himself and goes to Jillian's roof to fix the cable for her. He doesn't want her to know that he has such skills, but still wants to help. While he is at it, he hears Farron talking to a friend over the phone. She tells the person how much she hates Bob because he took her father's place in Jillian's life. It turns out that she doesn't want her mother to get married because she still hopes that her father will return. Bob understands how she feels and sympathizes with her. The following morning, he gets a call from his former partner Colton. The CIA has recovered a file that contains the information about Anton's plans. They're trying to gain access to it, but the code is too advanced for everyone on their team. Hence, Colton wants Bob to take a look at it. Initially, Bob doesn't want to get involved, but he agrees to do it as a favor. He opens a hidden workspace behind the cabinets and receives the said file on a secret website that cannot be tracked. But before he can work on it, Jillian and the kids arrive at the house. Jillian informs him that she will have to go to a nearby town to tend to her sick father for a week. Since the kids will be alone until then, Bob offers to babysit them. The idea seems disastrous at first, but Bob insists that it will be his chance to impress the kids. Jillian allows it and leaves after wishing them goodbye. As expected, the kids are not a fan of the idea, especially Farron, who absolutely despises Bob. When he is not around, they search his room, looking for anything that might prove he is a bad person. They do not find anything of the sort, but Ian gets his hands on the file from earlier. He recognizes the website as the most classified server, and is confused about how Bob has access to it. He downloads the file to his iPod, planning to show it off to his friends. Unknown to him, the download makes his location trackable to the Russians. Hollywood internet in the 2000s was hilarious. The gangsters do not want anyone to gain access to the file, because that would put their mission at risk. Now they know where the file is, and they plan an attack to retrieve it. Meanwhile, Bob struggles to take care of the children on his own. Farron and Ian pick on each other and fight all the time. They also lie about the house rules and stay up way past bedtime. Although Bob knows that they are lying, forcing them is not the way to go for someone in his position. The youngest child, Nora, is the most difficult to handle because she disappears every time Bob looks the other way. She loves to run around the house, but since Bob can use his spy skills in front of her, he manages to catch her easily. If Bob can weed a mole out of the CIA, he can certainly win a game of hide-and-seek with a dumb child. The next morning, Bob struggles to cook their breakfast. The cookies burn, the leftover food melts inside the oven, while the oats form into a clump. At school, Ian shows his friends the secret file, but they think he is lying. They dump him into the bin for making stories up. At the same time, Bob and Nora are in the mall, shopping for her Halloween outfit. He makes her wear a princess dress, but Nora wanders off in the costume. Since half of the kids are wearing the same dress, Bob has a hard time looking for her. After a while of searching and panicking, he sees her on the floor below and jumps off the balcony to get her. When he finally catches her, he gets a call from Ian's school, asking him to come over. The principal tells him about the absurd stories that Ian's been making up. He has been labeled as a pathological liar who troubles everyone. Bob has to apologize and promises to discipline the kid. Outside, the bullies from earlier make fun of Ian again. He tries to fight them, but Bob stops him. To Ian, this only confirms that Bob is a coward who is not good enough for his mother. Somewhere else, Anton tests the virus on petroleum for the first time. To his satisfaction, it works efficiently and eats away the oil in only a minute. Now, all they have to do is retrieve the secret file and let the virus spread. By the end of the day, Bob is tired of running after the kids. He knows he has to take strong measures to handle them. Hence, he makes Colton bring him a case of secret gear used by the CIA that he plans to use to discipline the children. Wow, Bob went from 0 to 100 pretty quick. For the next hour, he places secret cameras all around the house and fits an automatic device to all the doors. That way, he can open or close them at any time. The next morning, he uses the devices to get the kids ready on time, to make breakfast, to look for Nora when she wanders off, and so on. One night, he finds Farron on the roof alone and suggests that he put a railing around it for her safety. They have a heart-to-heart conversation on why she hates Bob so much. By the end of it, she realizes he isn't that bad of a person. The following day, both Farron and Ian seem to be in a better mood. Bob drops them off at school and returns home with Nora. At home, Tatiana and some Russian men are looking for the hard drive that the file was downloaded to. They search all around the house but cannot find it because Ian has taken the iPod to school. The group attacks Bob and gets into a fight with him. The henchmen go against him, while Tatiana chases after Nora. The little girl manages to trick her and run away like she has been doing with Bob. After an intense battle, Bob defeats them all and saves a falling Nora with a pool skimmer. Following that, he goes to get the other kids, assuming their lives are in danger because of him. He takes them to a Chinese restaurant to keep them entertained until his boss Glaze comes for their help. At the restaurant, they meet a young man named Larry, who claims to be a university student. Bob feels like something about Larry is off. He then tricks him into speaking Russian and finds out that he has also been sent by the Mafia. The two then get into a fight, but the kid is proven weak against Bob. After the fight, Glaze arrives at the restaurant, but without backup. Initially, Bob thinks he is there to help, but he soon discovers that Glaze is the mole in their team who has been helping Anton. Using Nora's pet turtle, he knocks Glaze out and runs away with the kids. They finally believe that he is a spy and start to respect him. Ian even allows him to marry his mother, since he is the coolest guy she has ever dated. The group then goes to a secluded highway and throws away a watch that the Russians had been using to track them. After that, they drive to a resort to stay the night. Farron, who still hasn't opened up to Bob, calls her mother and tells her the truth. Bob also confirms that he is a spy, and her children's lives are in danger because of him. Jillian doesn't waste a second before getting on a flight back home. Following the call, a fascinated Ian asks Bob to show him the gadgets he uses. Bob showcases his automated ring with a blade and his belt that turns into a stick. A mischievous Ian plans to steal all of them tomorrow. The next morning, Jillian returns home and is furious at Bob for hiding such a big truth from her. But more than that, she hates him for putting her kids in danger. Bob understands her hatred and agrees to stay away from them. Ian and Nora share an emotional goodbye with him before he goes away. Farron is also sad, but she doesn't show it on her face. Now that the kids are safe, Bob is free to catch the Russians red-handed. He finds out where their hideout is and goes to the place. However, he is unaware that Ian, who also wants to be a spy, has followed him to the location. The two meet and are immediately caught by the Russians. Behind them, Farron is also caught. It turns out that she had followed Ian to the location. When asked about the file, Ian reveals that it is in his iPod. Half of the group goes to retrieve it, while the other half waits with Bob and the kids. Bob secretly hands Ian the special ring, which he uses to free himself. After Bob unties his hands, it doesn't take him long to defeat the Russians. Then, the group rushes home to make sure Jillian and Nora are safe. Bob calls Jillian several times to warn her, but she doesn't give him a chance to speak. Fortunately for them, the group makes it to the house before the Russians. Bob explains everything to Jillian and sends the family to the upper floor. When the gangsters arrive at the house, he tries to retrieve his case of gadgets, but finds out Ian has stolen them. Somewhere else, Farron is using the gadgets to fight the Russians, who broke in through the window. While Bob showcases his fighting skills, the kids use the gadgets to battle the gangsters. They do a great job at it, with Farron burning a man off of the window, Ian hitting someone with the transforming belt, and little Nora making a man fly with a high-tech gun. In the end, the police arrive and save the day. When everything ends, Bob apologizes to Jillian and understands why she cannot be with him anymore. This time, even Farron begs him to stay as their family. She tells her mother that Bob always wanted to keep them safe, as a real father would. Seeing her kid's attachment to him, Jillian agrees to give him a second chance. Sometime later, we see the couple get married, while the kids happily attend the ceremony. In the last scene, Bob secretly whispers his real name to Jillian. I am Jackie Chan. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.